Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay a friend who paid for my wedding dress? Original post. I was looking to buy this dress from a brand in New York City. Because I'm not based there, the only option was to go through a retailer where I'm based at, and that would cost $2,400 excluding alterations. I found a listing from Still White, and it was the exact dress I wanted in my size, and brand new for $900. The previous owner had canceled her wedding. My longtime friend from school, Sandy, who happened to be in New York at the time, agreed to pick it up from me and bring it back with her to where I'm based, where she's also from. I was really grateful and happy, and I was even intending to gift her $100, on top of the Uber rides to and from the place I said I would reimburse as my token of appreciation. However, my joy turned to shock/horror/dismay/disbelief when I saw Sandy's Instagram story showcasing her trying on my wedding dress. I called her out for it, telling her I wasn't happy she not only tried it without my permission, but posted it for the public to see. She didn't take it down even after a conversation we had about this. To make matters worse, she admitted she collected the dress posing as me. Through an email bill later, I noticed that the dress had also been altered on the spot, all without my knowledge or consent. When confronted, Sandy nonchalantly stated that it was her one chance to try a wedding gown and insisted I should get over it and reimburse her the $900 she paid for the dress. My wedding dress experience was entirely hijacked, and I'm now hesitant to pay her back. This all happened yesterday, and she reached out today to ask for the money back and told me to get over it because she needs to make a big purchase tomorrow and it would help her cash flow. Since she wants it so bad, she can now have it. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. What kind of wedding dress alterations can be done on the spot? It was a waist alteration. For context, this bridal shop has a seamstress in-house, and for dresses bought off the rack, they offer on-the-spot alterations unless it is significant. In this case, it was the waist. Not the a-hole. She had it altered? Wow. It's officially her dress now. Lucky her. Her one chance to try a wedding gown is now her lifetime of owning a wedding gown. She can try it whenever she wants. Exactly. She wanted the experience. That includes owning it and never having another opportunity to wear it. And it was a waist alteration. That's not a minor change like tacking a strap shorter or adding a hook and eye somewhere, and depending on the fabric and style of the dress, it may show that it's been altered twice on a day. I can't believe the nerve of your friend OP. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You need a new dress and that woman is not your friend. She wants to be in the spot and use your wedding dress to get views. Uninvite her now, or she will be the one in a blush pink lace dress at your wedding. Now, if she has it in writing that you said you would pay for the dress, she can try and sue you. Now, you can try to counter-sue due to her getting the dress altered for her without your permission, possibly causing more financial problems with any future alterations. I wouldn't pay my friend for ruining the surprise of my wedding dress that I was so excited I found. I would have to take some time before I hunt for one again, just to make sure there is no sour taste left in my mouth after this experience. Take copies of her social media posts and texts. You may need proof of how nuts this person is. Now for the first update. First of all, thank you everyone for being so empathetic and indignant on my behalf. I don't feel crazy anymore. When I saw her post, I completely lost it. I cried so pathetically. I know everyone must be wondering why am I even friends with Sandy, and how that reflects on me as a person too. Sandy and I go a long way back. I've always known Sandy as a crappy friend, but I still kept her around because of her mental health struggles. I was the only friend connected to her family, so if anything, I would have been the one to sound the alarm. I don't think I could have lived with the guilt if anything really happened to Sandy. But well, I guess my job is done, because Sandy's audacity tells me she's in a much better place. Good for her. Moving forward, I don't have the dress on hand yet, because it's still New York with her. She's coming back to where we're based February 24. I agree that she was doing me a favor, and for that, I think I will still pay her for the dress. After all, it is $900, but with the following terms. 1. I will only pay her upon receipt of the dress. The trust is completely broken. I don't know what else she might do to the dress. Sleep in it? I unfortunately need this leverage over her until I have it in my hands. Else, she has no incentive to keep her hands off it. For all I know, she chucked it in a dusty storage to spite me. 2. I will pay her the $900 minus the cost of dry cleaning and alterations. It's like borrowing a friend's clothing and not washing it before returning it. Did I mention she also tried it after her Pilates class without showering? I think this arrangement is fair and I would not owe her anything. 3. I will end this friendship. To be honest, I think if Sandy and I met as adults, we wouldn't be friends. The friendship has run its course, and I think I did the best I could in this friendship. She for real said I'm pulling an Anna Sorokin on her. Sandy called me a con artist and isn't even sorry that she raid all over my parade. Friend? Human? 4. She's uninvited. Need I say more? Now for the last update. Sandy had actually told me there were lipstick stains on the dress and offered to buy a stain pen. Later, I found out from the shop owner that the stains were actually caused by Sandy. So Sandy not only lied blatantly, but tried to cover up her vile behavior by coming across helpful. I have since reverted to Sandy and gave Sandy 2 options. 1. Sell it to me at half the cost to cover alterations and dry cleaning. Or 2. Sell it to someone else. She chose option 2 and showed no true remorse. End of story in friendship. She handled this so much better than I would have. I have no plans to get married, but if someone altered my bridal dress to fit them, I would do some unspeakable things. I wouldn't even offer to buy the dress from her. She could eat it for all I'd care. It's hers now. Now she can experience having a wedding dress for her entire life. The same way she can experience being put on blast and blocked by probably the only friend she had. Yeah, giving this woman money is bonkers, unless it's a get out of my life forever tax. I'm blown away by the fact that OP still wanted to pay Sandy any amount at all. A-hole tax. How much is someone willing to pay to get an a-hole out of their life with limited drama? I did this for my wedding. Had a former roommate who didn't get a +1 respond that she was bringing someone random just to bring a date. I told her if she could wait until closer to the day, I would know I would have the space and that it wouldn't be an issue. She flipped out on me. I paid for a plane ticket to make her go away. A-hole tax. Best part? She still came into town, but not with a new date, even though this way everyone could meet them. Good riddance. At this point, I'd consider that dressed as cursed anyway. Already coming from a cancelled wedding, plus these bizarre shenanigans from Sandy? If she gets married in that thing, a pipe will burst day off in the wedding venue or something. Yeah, I'd say something about there not being enough sage in the world. The only thing that will uncurse this dress is probably the fires of Mount Doom. Next story. Am I the a-hole for disowning my son and refusing to invite him to my wedding or interact with him in any way? When I was 15, I became pregnant with my son. My parents were deeply ashamed, and I felt like I ruined my life. Before that, I was a bright student. I was determined to be the best mother I could be to my son. As a single mother, I didn't risk dating until my son was an adult. I wanted him to grow up to be a mature, conscientious adult. I doted on him. He came out to me when he was 17. I promised that I would love him forever. When he was 20, I met a man and fell in love. I was happy, and my son approved of him almost immediately. I found out 3 years later that my boyfriend and my son were having an affair behind my back. I was horrified at how my son could betray me so deeply. He apologized, but said it was true love, and that they didn't mean to hurt me. I cut him and my now ex-boyfriend out of my life. I don't like to talk about that part of my life. For all intents and purposes, I do not have a son. It's humiliating and unbearable. I met another man. He has been incredible and supportive. I realized that I did not know what real love was until I met him. He and I married in a beautiful ceremony this past autumn. My son has been trying to contact me. He is still with my ex. I have blocked him out of my life. Some of my friends, who have known me and my son for decades, have begged me to get back in touch. Apparently, his life is falling apart and he misses me. They said he was young when he made a mistake. I refused. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. What the heck did I just read? The clown show that was my life. Honest to God, I did not want to believe what happened. Maybe it went on for so long because I was blind. Oh, hon, I am so sorry that happened to you. The most important person in your life betrayed you and the other preyed on him. Though that doesn't excuse what your son did because he was a full-grown adult. It is okay to mourn the loss of your son, but you absolutely have no obligation to forgive him. I hope that you can heal, move on, and have the happiest life you deserve. Good luck, Opie. Forgiveness is not acceptance. Forgiveness is for you. It doesn't mean you have to let him into your life. Enjoy your life with a man who cherishes you. I wish you a happy life. Nah, keep him out. He's an adult and there is no reason you need to chat with him. Keep your peace and love your life. He is an adult and made his choices as I've made mine. Sometimes I wonder if I did make the right choice when I remember that he was once a little baby that barely fit in my arms and who would giggle at everything. I mourn my son, but he's not dead. He's just a terrible person. I have a brother I feel this exact way about. I remember how close we were. Best friends forever. And now I hate him. And every time I see or hear from him, I remember a little less and hate a little more. Nobody in my family can relate, but I would rather have those memories than lose them to the person that exists today. I would suggest you do the same. It'll always be painful, but if the wrong he did to you hasn't been changed, there's not much more you can do than put it out of mind and remember the good times. Otherwise, it'll just keep hurting and flood out the memories you have. Not the a-hole. He betrayed you in the worst way possible. It doesn't matter if it was true love with a man old enough to be his father. I doubt it. And more red flags. He should have distanced himself from your boyfriend and vice versa until he got over the feelings. I truly believe some things are unforgivable. Cheating is one. But it is your life and only you can decide what path is right for you. And if you can live with no regrets disowning your son, good luck. I don't think it's true love either, but I also didn't think they would last this long. I can't forgive a betrayal like that. My ex had admitted to cheating before in a prior relationship. And like an idiot, I thought he was being refreshingly honest and had learned from his past mistakes. Never again. I will leave at a first sign of infidelity. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother's now ex-fiancee the truth of why my parents don't talk to him, which resulted in their breakup? My parents haven't spoken to my brother in over a decade. This is their choice. They have essentially disowned him. There are multiple reasons that they did this and have refused to speak to him, but there is one massive incident that they have not gotten over. My parents saved up a large amount of money that was to be split between my brother, my sister, and me for our college fund. At a time, he was supposed to go to college 10 years ago. His share was a little over $60K. My brother faked an acceptance letter and used that to access the money with full understanding that this was for his college education. He somehow convinced my parents to give him full access to the money as a lump sum. He then used it to invest in a friend's get-rich-quick pyramid scheme business that went under in less than a year. When my parents learned that he didn't even apply to any college and lied to get the money, they cut him off. Over the years, he's gotten involved in other schemes and still owes his ex-best friend $35K in debt from gambling on alt crypto coins. All these things have just convinced my parents he's a reckless manipulator, and they essentially pretend he just doesn't exist. My brother has been trying to put his life together over the past year or so. He met his now ex-fiancée sometime during the pandemic, and they got engaged 3 months ago after they found out she was pregnant. I've met her a few times, but don't know her very well. My sister and I still talk to our brother occasionally, but we're not close. A few weeks ago, my brother's ex-fiancée called and asked if I would clarify a few things about our parents. She said she wanted to test the waters to see if she was going to reach out to see if they wanted to have a relationship with their grandchild. I have a suspicion, though, that she wasn't buying the lie my brother was telling her about their relationship. My brother told his ex-fiancée that my parents had cut him off because he had dropped out of college. She didn't know he actually never went to college and about the money he stole. I corrected that and told her the truth. I knew I kicked a hornet's nest because she ended the conversation quickly after. I also made the mistake of telling my mom about this conversation because she found my brother's ex-fiancée on Instagram and started talking to her there after I told her. She pretty much gave her every reason to break up with him, and she took her advice and did. I was conflicted until last night when my brother called me up, furious and screaming. Ex-fiancée has been ghosting my brother since she broke up with him, and last night, she revealed she had an abortion and told him to never talk to her again. He sounded like he was going off the rails again, and I had to hang up and block his number because of how mad he was. I talked to my sister, and despite not liking him that much, she told me that this was way beyond acceptable on my part. So I feel responsible in a way now, and don't know what to think about my actions now. Not the a-hole. Your brother's ex deserved to know the type of man she was dealing with, and she made a smart decision. You really should be going no contact with your brother, and probably low contact with your sister. I bet your sister would be singing a different tune if she found herself in a situation similar to your brother's ex. I've mostly kept in contact with him since he seemed to be doing a lot better after his crypto days. I thought he was changing, but yeah, you're probably right. You saved that woman, and you saved a child from having a lifetime of an irresponsible father who would probably gamble the kids' lunch money for kicks. You did the right thing, not the a-hole. By the way, your parents are awesome. On Reddit, usually the story ends up with everyone's college funds gambled away and the parents on the verge of living in a tent from enabling the loser brother his whole life. Not the a-hole. She asked you about your brother's relationship with your parents. There is absolutely no reason in the world why you should lie about that for your brother. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. My biggest concern is that I got my mom involved. I didn't think telling her would make her seek ex-fiancé out and talk to her. That's where I was really indecisive on. OP, you told her the truth, which your brother obviously had not. If your brother can't tell the truth, he deserves the consequences when people find out he's a liar. You saved that woman from having to be tied to a scheming liar for 18 plus years. Dude lied to his fiancée and got caught lying, but part of that is your fault, not the a-hole. Liars, family or not, don't deserve cover or protection or sympathy. That's it. Fool around, find out. If he hadn't have lied, then nothing you said would have been news. I don't feel bad about telling the truth. I feel bad about roping my mom in and how bad things turned for him. I guess I just needed to be sure that it wasn't the cause of all this mess. If your brother was truly working on himself and wanted to be better, he would have told his ex the truth from the beginning and took responsibility. But he didn't. He pretended to be someone he wasn't. He was scamming her too. It was only a matter of time before the truth came out and blew up in his face. It's better that your mom told the ex early before she was legally tied to him and her life ruined.